So today I'm going to share with you how I got into pharmacy school straight out of high school. It's a really interesting story, so stay tuned. So currently I'm actually in my third year of the PharmD program. I go to pharmacy school in Florida in the United States. And interestingly enough, I actually got into pharmacy school straight out of high school. And I'll go into that later, but I actually got in and deferred twice, and funny enough, I still ended up being in pharmacy school here in the States. So let's begin with my story. I did the International Baccalaureate program for high school, and I actually lived in Europe and studied there for 3 years with high school. And what's really awesome about Europe is that you're able to go into professional programs like pharmacy, medicine, so on and so forth, straight out of high school, which is really awesome. So when I was in grade 12, I was considering schools to apply for. So I found out that the University College London, which actually used to be the London School of Pharmacy, had a pharmacy program there. So originally I chose pharmacy as a backup. I was actually planning on going into med school, but I chose pharmacy as a backup. I didn't end up hearing from the med schools, but I did end up hearing from the pharmacy school that they would love to interview me. So that was really cool. Now, at the time, I lived in the Netherlands. So the Netherlands is a little country right next to Germany and also next to Belgium. And the London School of Pharmacy, also now known as the University College London, is actually based in London, UK. So I had to travel a bit of a ways to get there. So for me to even get to the airport, I had to take a train ride that was almost about 3 hours to Amsterdam airport. So I took a train and I got to the airport, and my flight was supposed to fly to an airport in that's kind of outside London a bit, but my flight was delayed. Now, mind you, my interview time was approximately around like 3 o'clock, I believe. So I was freaking out. I was like, oh my God, I'm not going to make this flight in time. I'm going to be so late for my interview. I was freaking out already, but I was like, okay, let me just calm down. Everything will go fine. So the flight, I believe, was delayed for about an hour, which was so frustrating. But it finally came. So I got on the plane. The plane flight from Amsterdam to that airport was about, I would say about 40 minutes, 45 minutes. So I got there. Now, the consequence of me having a late flight was that I missed my bus that I was supposed to take to go into London. So when I got at the airport, there was a bus I was supposed to take at a certain time that would take me to London, and that was about an hour drive. I missed that bus. So that was more stress, and I was like, oh my goodness, I'm going to be so late and this is not gonna look good for me. It was so stressful. I went up to the kiosk for the bus, and they told me that the next bus was full and that I could get in the bus after the next bus. And I was like, oh my God. I was begging, I was pleading with them, like, please, I really need to get on this bus. I have to make it to my interview in London. Mind you, at the same time, that same day I was supposed to come back all the way to the Netherlands. So it wasn't it wasn't like an interview where I was gonna go stay there and then go back the next day. I was supposed to leave the same day. So they finally got me on another bus, and I called my dad up and was like, is it possible for you to let the school know that I'm going to be late? Because I already knew I was late. And so he called them, and they said it was fine, that they'll still be expecting me. So I was still hopeful and very gracious. So finally head into London. Mind you, London's a big city. I get off the bus and I'm just looking around like, oh my goodness, where do I start? So I find one of the subways, and at that time I didn't have really like a smartphone or anything, so I was just relying on a Google Maps printout that I printed out. So I brought it with me and I was just looking at the Google Maps like, okay, all right, I think I'm supposed to go on this train station and head to this station. So along the way, obviously I had to ask a couple people, but I finally managed to get on the train, and then I got off at the spot I was supposed to get off at. Got off, and when I got there, I was still lost. I was like, oh my God, I don't know where I'm going. And I was asking people, like, you know, excuse me, where's the London School of Pharmacy? And so on and so forth. And like, no one knew. And like, some people were telling me, oh, it's that way. Oh no, I think it's that way. And so I was so confused. So I was legit like walking this way and someone's telling me it's the other way. And then I was just getting so frustrated. And then finally someone said, I'm pretty sure it's in that direction. So I trusted her and started walking that direction. Still couldn't find it. My Google Maps thing that I printed out wasn't helpful whatsoever. So I'm still helpless. I'm asking people. And then luckily I run into a guy carrying a briefcase and glasses on, and I was like, excuse me, sir. By then I was kind of defeated. So I'm like, excuse me, sir. I'm trying to get to the London School of Pharmacy. Could you help me out? And you won't believe what this guy said. He was like, oh yeah, I'm heading there right now. I'm actually a professor there. I was like, what? So I was so astonished and so grateful. So him and I both walked to the London School of Pharmacy, and you know, I make it in time, thank God. So I'm able, when I get there, they said, okay, just sit down. We're gonna get you your interviewer ready. I was like, okay, awesome. And I forgot to mention, while I was walking with this guy, he was actually asking me questions about, you know, why I wanted to go to the school, why I wanted pharmacy, just like questions. And mind you, I've been practicing a lot for the interview, so I was just using that time to help me practice. And funny enough, when I get to the school and I go in for my interview, the person that's interviewing me is the professor I walked with to the school. So he was pretty much like, yeah, you had your interview on the street already with me. But he just asked a couple more questions, and it was amazing. So overall from that, I actually got a call about a day later saying that I got accepted. And so it was just a reminder that, you know, you will go through some tough hurdles in life, but you know, always stay optimistic and good things will always come from it. And so a good thing did come from it. I got accepted, but unfortunately, reason why I deferred it was because when you're not a European citizen, it's a lot of money to go to school there. And I have 3 other siblings. And so I didn't want to put the pressure on my parents or anything like that. So I thought, you know what, I'm just gonna move back home and just, you know, do pharmacology, and pharmacy is really for me. I'll get into it afterwards. So that's pretty much my story in a nutshell of how I got into pharmacy school straight out of high school. Thank you so much for listening to my story. I really hope you enjoyed it. Give this video a thumbs up if you'd love to see me make some videos about how to get into pharmacy school, how I'm liking pharmacy school, or anything like that. I would love to film that for you guys. Thank you so much and have a lovely day. Bye, you guys. Thank you.